Okay, today we're going to be ranking every NFL wide receivers. So you have obviously your elite, which I think is like a top five guys, the best of the best. Then you have A, which I think is you're a great wide receiver one, but you're not elite quite yet for several different reasons. You have B, which is a low end wide receiver one, a high end wide receiver two. C, which is pretty much a wide receiver two, um, or you're a washed wide receiver, or you're a very bad wide receiver one. Then you have D, which is a low end wide receiver two. You have the bench, which means your wide receiver three or worse, and you have your trash, which means you shouldn't even be playing. So there's a lot of guys. So I'm gonna go quick. Adam Thielen, he was very good, but since then, he's just been kind of washed. He still puts up like over 500 yards, can still be a value. So I'm gonna put him in C. Then you have AJ Brown. Has been really good. Just came off probably his best season, 1,400 yard season. Not sure if he's elite just yet. He's very close. I'm not sure if he would be. He's definitely a top 10 guy. I'm not sure if he's a top 5 guy, but I'm gonna put him in A for now. And then you have Alec Pierce. Really hasn't shown anything. He had a few good games. I think he has good potential, but right now I put him in D. Allen Robinson. Last year was really bad. Before that he was very very good. Before last season, I probably would have put him in A, but after that season with the Rams, I gotta put him. He might just be washed, so I'm gonna put him in C. Amari Cooper had a very good season with the Browns. Um, he's a wide receiver one, but he's nothing spectacular. He's not gonna get like 1,500 yards. He's not elite. I'm gonna put him in B. Then you have Amari Rogers, had a couple of good games, got injured. He's definitely not trash, has potential, but I'm gonna put him on the bench. Amon-Ra St. Brown did great, had like 100 catches, like I don't know, a lot of yardage. He was good his rookie season, and he improved the second year, and definitely a high end wide receiver one. I'm putting him at A. Brandon Cooks had not a very good season last year, was injured on and off, had quarterback problems, but before that he was like super consistent. And I'm gonna put Cooks at 2. I still think he has some good years left, unlike Allen Robinson. So I'm gonna put him at B. Then you have Ayuk. Came in for Debo Samuel. Had a great run. Um, Still very young. Has only had like one good season. His every other, and he's kind of inconsistent, hot and cold. He usually starts off the year, you bad and then gets hot early on. So he's just not consistent enough to be a high end, great wide receiver one like AJ Brown and Monron. So I'm gonna put him in B. Brian Edwards, he really hasn't done much since coming into the league. Um, I'm gonna put him in trash. And then you have Traylon Burks. He was a rookie, injured, didn't do much. I'm gonna put him in bench because he still has potential. And then you have CeeDee Lamb. Had a great season. He's had great seasons since coming in. He hasn't had that one elite season yet, but he's just been a very consistent over like 1,100, 1,200 yard receiver. So I'm putting him in A. And then you have Chase Claypool. Um, had a good rookie season with 800 yards last year. Was not that good. He got traded to the Bears. He's probably a wide receiver two and not a great wide receiver two. I'm gonna put him in the D category. Christian Kirk. I think he proved himself last year as a wide receiver one. He had like over 1,000 yards. One of the better slot receivers. Even before that, he was still like a wide receiver two, getting 800, 900 yards a season. It was just last year he got over the 1,000 yard mark. Put him in B. And then you have Cooper Kupp. Um, Last year, even though he got injured in 9 games, I think he still had over 800 yards and was like either top two in terms of catches before he got injured. And the year before that, he won a triple crown. And whenever he's healthy, he's always been like even before his triple crown, he was always a 1,000 yard receiver if he was healthy, and he has been. And I'm gonna put him in the league. He was the Rams offense when he was healthy. Then you have Corey Davis. Was never that good. Had like one good season with the Tennessee Titans where he got a bunch of touchdowns, but has been just bad since. I'm putting him trash. Then you have Cortland Sutton. Oh, he had got good season like 2019, and he's been injured a lot since. Um, he does have talent. He has shown that he can be good at times, but I can't. I'm gonna put him in. Yeah, I just have to put him in B. I think he still has potential, but he better show something next season. He's dropping all the way down to a C or D. You have Jamison Crowder. He's a slot guy. He's always been a slot guy. That way he cannot be a wide receiver one. I do think he's one of the better slot guys, or was, but he's been getting old. I'm gonna put him in D. And then Curtis Samuel, he actually did decently well last year, not great or anything. Um, but he's just not that good. I'm gonna put him in bench. And then you have Devontae Adams, been one of the best wide receivers. Had like 14 touchdowns last season for the Raiders. Always gets like 1,300 yards and like double-digit touchdowns. Always been consistent like that. He's elite. Deebo Samuel, his injuries, man. He's been injured like 2-3 seasons now. When he's healthy, he's good, but he's only had one great season and like 1,000 yard season. Like his, and then I think he had like good season his rookie year, and every other year has been injured. So I'm gonna put him in B. I think he's slightly overrated. You have Devin Duvernay, has not shown much. He's a good returner, but that's pretty much it. Maybe a one long touchdown. He's a bench guy. You have Devontae Smith. Had a very good season, had over 1,000 yards, a great compliment to A.J. Brown. His rookie season, he had like 900 yards, a good rookie season. Not sure if I'm putting him in A just yet, because he had A.J. Brown last year, so I'm going to put him in B. And then you have DeAndre Hopkins. Last year he was injured. He did well when he came back. The year before that, he was also injured. And 2020, when he first got traded to the Cardinals, he had 1,300 yards, which is great, but not elite level just yet. And he's been injured the last 2 seasons, so I'm going to put him in A. Stephon Diggs, his stats are great. I think he's actually a bit underrated. He's always had like at least 1,200 yards, so I'm going to put him in elite. Deontay Johnson, he's an interesting guy. He doesn't get talked about. He does have those good stretches of game, but he's just not consistent enough. I'm going to put him in B. You have DJ Chark. Not he had like one or two good years, and then he just not hasn't been as good as recently. I still think he has potential to be wide receiver one, so another B guy. And then you have DJ Moore. He's better than DJ Chark in my opinion. Last year like 800 yards. Before that, he had like back to back 1,000 yard seasons. He's proven he can be a wide receiver one. Not sure if he's on the A tier level yet, because he hasn't had that great one season where he has like a 1,500 yards. So I'm gonna put him in B. Then you have DK Metcalf. He did well last year, not as great as he was during his like second season when he did great, but he's been consistent 1,000 yards. So I'm gonna put him in A. Then you have Drake London. Was very inconsistent. He did a lot better later on, but man, he started off really slow. I think that's just the Atlanta passing game, or for that matter, running game was a lot better. So I'm gonna put him in C for now. But I think he has potential to go all the way up to A next season. And then you have Elijah Moore. Did not do much last year. Did not do anything last year. Now that I think of it, his rookie year was decent, but last year he was bad. I think he's just a pure wide receiver too. Dwayne Eskridge has not done anything. He was supposed to be a speed demon, but he's not. Trash. Russell Gage, when was the last time he was good? I think he was good during like the Falcons Super Bowl run, but has not been good like since. But he been bench guy. Michael Gallup was injured last season, came back, was a little bit rusty. I'm not sure if he's gonna get healthier and improve, because when he's healthy, I think he's like a great deep threat. And he did have that one good season with the Cowboys, but hasn't shown much outside of that. So I'm gonna put him in a C. I'm gonna put him in a C category. You have Garrett Wilson, had one good season. I think he's overrated, but he did have over 1,000 yards. I think he's a wide receiver one, but low end wide receiver one. I would not put him in A tier, and I'd actually put him in the lower part of B tier. You have Chris Godwin. Um, he's just been good. I think probably one of the best slot receiver. Gets a ton of catches, picks up those first downs. Not the most flashy receiver, which is why I don't think he gets his praise. One of the more underrated receivers in my eyes. I'm putting him in A. You have AJ Green. He's washed. I'll put him in bench. Nicole Hardman. Ooh, he's an interesting guy. He's just just a speed guy, really. Unlike Tyreek Hill, who can actually run routes. Um, McCole Hardman has been really just a speed guy. He makes up for like one big play a game and then just disappears for long stretches of time. So I'm gonna put him in D. And then you have Marquise Brown. He did good for the Cardinals, and I think he's also underrated, especially with the Ravens when he got 1,000 yards season in during the Ravens like pass heavy game. And the Cardinals, he didn't do that bad until he got injured. So I think I'm gonna put him in B. I definitely think he's underrated. Okay, then you have Jahan Dotson. Did not do anything. He had a couple big plays similar to Alec Pierce, had stretch of good games or good catches, but really not much. I'm gonna put him in D for now. He's like a low end wide receiver too. Jacoby Myers, he's been consistent, 900 yards. But I'm not sure if he's a wide receiver one or can be a wide receiver one. He's just not naturally like athletic like a lot of the B tier guys, but he does produce. So I'm gonna put him in C. And then you have Jamar Chase. Um, since coming into the league, he's at 1,400 yards. Got injured last season, still got 1,000 yards. Touchdown. He's a great red zone threat. I'm gonna put him in elite. You have Jameson Williams. He was just injured with. He was just a lot. He was just injured last year. He didn't play much. I'm gonna put him at D. Like a lot of the other rookies. You have Jarvis Landry. Used to be one of the best slot guys, but has since just declined big time. Didn't got injured I think last season. He just has not been good since his Miami days. So I'm gonna put him at D. Jerry Judy. Did not break out like everybody thought, but he's still like almost 1,000 yard receiver. Still a good receiving threat. I'm gonna put him in B. You have Justin Jefferson. Obviously led the league in yards last year. Probably just 2 years, just 3 years, or 2 years has probably been the best. I'm gonna put him at elite. And then you have Juju Smith-Schuster. Pretty much always been a wide receiver two, wide receiver three guy, slot guy, gets a lot of catches. Like anywhere from 600 to 1,000 yards. Also have that one season. I'm gonna put him in B. And then you have Julio Jones. He's just washed at this point. He's got injured, washed the last since leaving Atlanta or the year before. At best, he's a low end wide receiver too now. And then you have Keenan Allen. He's starting to. I don't think he'll get any better, but he's still a 1,000 yard receiver. He's still a 1,000 yard receiver, but he's starting to get older, and you can tell, especially with that injury last season. I'm gonna put him at B. Last few years ago, I would have definitely put him in A and close to elite, but I think he's fallen to B. Kenny Galladay signed a huge contract, disappeared. KJ Osborne, he did good things for the Vikings last year, and I think he'll go into that wide receiver two role this year, so I'm gonna put him in C. KJ Hamler, best used as a bench guy. You don't want him as your wide receiver two. Chenault, similar to Hamler, pretty much a bench guy. Lazard, interesting. Was Rogers' main target last year? Did not do horrible. Did not do great. That's pretty much his story. He's not horrible, but he's not great in any means. He's like what you call a wide receiver too. He's like a definition of a wide receiver too. And you have Tyler Lockett. Been pretty much as good as his partner Metcalf, like 1,000 yards every season. He used to be a great special teamer until he got too valuable for them to use special teams. So I'm gonna put Lockett in A. You have Terrace Marshall. People say he has a lot of potential, but has not showed that yet. So I'm gonna put him in bench. Marvin Jones. He's just starting to get old. 2 years ago, he was good with the Jaguars, but last year he started to tick off. He's always been like a wide receiver two, wide receiver three guy, but I'm gonna put him at D since he's more proven than these guys and not as washed. Terry McLaurin. Great wide receiver, does great with every single wide receiver. He does great with every quarterback he has. Just always that consistent guy. He's either an A or a B, but I'm gonna give him the credit of the doubt and put him in A. And he's young and he's gonna keep improving. You have John Mechie. He was injured all season. I'm gonna put him at bench. Mike Evans. Um, he does have that streak of 1,000 yard seasons, but last year was not as good as he was previously. So I'm gonna put him in B. So I do think he's still a very great wide receiver, but he was really inconsistent last season. And you have Mike Williams. He has all the potential in the world as a jump ball specialist. Injuries, though. Injuries. Daryl Mooney, I was high on him before the season started, and he completely fell flat on his face. Wide receiver 2, I'm putting him at C. Who's out? MBS? Oh, he wasn't actually that bad for the Chiefs last year. He pretty much replaced Tyreek Hill for that deep threat. He's a good wide receiver too, so I'm putting him at C. Nelson Aguilar, hands. He had that one good season with the Raiders and just has not. He's been kind of average since. So I'm gonna put him on D. Odell. Ooh, let's talk about the most overrated player. He has not been good legit since his Giants day. For the first season in the Browns, he was all right, but he was not that consistent. And then he um, flunked with the Browns. He went to the Rams. He went to the Rams and had like half a season, which was not even that good. He had like what, I don't even remember how many yards he had, but it was not that good. He's a one-trick pony now. I think he's kind of washed. He has that one big play a game, but then just falters. I'm gonna put him in C. He's a wide receiver too. He's not gonna make the impact teams think he is. That's why he's not going for 20 million. Chris Olave, he had a 1,000-yard season last year. I think he was very good. I think I probably would have taken him over Garrett Wilson, so I'm gonna put him in B. If not for the injuries, I think he would have won Offensive Player of the Year. And then you have Zach Gaius. I don't even know. He's best used as a bench guy or low end wide receiver too. I'm gonna put him as bench though. Devontae Parker, he's just too much of a possession jump ball specialist. He's not versatile enough. But he gets too injured, but he's always gonna go for 500-600 yards, which makes him somewhat valuable and gonna get those touchdowns. But put him in D. And then you have, is that Pickens? Pickens, people like Pickens a lot, but pretty much what I said about Odell, he makes that one athletic catch a game, that one big touchdown, but then just disappears for the rest of the game. He's got to be more consistent just throughout to be considered a wide receiver 1. I don't think he's a wide receiver 1. He's a wide receiver 2 right now. I'm going to put him at C. Okay, and then you have Michael Pittman. Don't think he's that bad. Wide receiver 1 has had 1,000-yard seasons. I'm going to put him a B. How many more? Okay, I do not have that much more. Quez Watkins was supposed to be the Eagles wide receiver 3. Did not do anything. I'm gonna put him at bench. We're running out of space. Rashard Bateman. For 2 years now, people have been hyping him up as a Ravens wide receiver 1, and he has fallen flat on his face. Has not done anything. Gotten injured. Right now. I put him at bench. Jalen Reagor. He's trash. Hunter Renfrow. Ooh, he was good 2 years ago when he got 1,000-yard receiver. He's a slot receiver, a pure slot receiver, not that versatile. Last year he got injured and people kind of forgot about him. I'm putting him in C. Calvin Ridley, he hasn't played in a year. He was good beforehand, but I don't know how well he'll do. I'm gonna put him in C. Robbie Anderson or Chosen Anderson, whatever his name is. He's never been that great. He's had a couple 1,000-yard seasons, but he's never been that great. I'm gonna put him in D. And then you have Robert Woods, definitely getting on the old side now. Did well with the Rams, haven't done well anywhere else. A low-end wide receiver too. Rondell Moore had a good stretch of games, but best used as a wide receiver 3. Sterling Shepard, similarly, put him a veteran guy that just does not consistent enough. Wide receiver 2. Sky Moore. He's a rookie, didn't do much. I put him on bench. We get into the bottom of the barrel in terms of wide receivers. Darius Slayton had a good rookie season, had a very slow start last year and did get better overall. But I'm not sure. He's not a wide receiver 1. I think he's a solid wide receiver 2 that's going to get like 600-700 yards, which is what you want in a wide receiver 2. And then you have T. Higgins. 3 years in the league. I think his injuries keep him down, but when he's healthy, I think he's like a 1,200-yard receiver, can be a wide receiver 1. I'm going to put him in A. You have Michael Thomas, has not played in like 3 years. Last year was not that good, got injured again since he's broke the record for most receiving yards. He just has not been good at all. I'm going to give him a benefit. I'm putting him as C, but he's close to being trash. Tim Patrick, best used at the bench. Kadarius Toney, similarly, he's a gadget player, gadget wide receiver. Traquan Smith, also another one. one big play a game. T.Y. Hilton is washed. Tyler Boyd, one of the premier slot receivers. He's just a great slot receiver, but slot receivers usually aren't number one, so I'm gonna put him at C. Thornton got injured. Tyreek Hill had 1,700 yards, one of the best deep threats. Turned that Dolphins offense around. He's a lead guy. Van Jefferson got injured last year. I think he was doing pretty well before he got injured, so I'm gonna put him at D. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill's partner, he had 1,300 yards. I think he had a great season. His rookie had 1,000 yards, 100 catches in the very next season. As a wide receiver too, he just increased his average yard per catch. I think he's an A wide receiver. And then you have Robinson. Is that the Giants wide receiver? Bench. All Giants receivers are like bench wide receiver twos at best. Sammy Watkins had potential. And he's still decently good in the right system. I'm putting him in D. Christian Watson. He had a stretch of like 4 or 5 good games, and then just kind of he has a lot of potential, but he just hasn't showed it all throughout the season. Yeah, he definitely has a chance to be elite, but right now he's a C guy. So there you have my NFL wide receiver tier list.